Hi, this video will instruct you to make an approximately 10-inch flower that looks like this, but we're going to use white and gold. So this is template 7, and this is just one of the 3 petal styles that come with the template. You can mix and match, so you can use all 3 different petal styles, or you can use them individually on one flower like we're doing here in this video. So it has this is style 1, this is style 2, and style 3. So we're using style 1 in this tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So you can cut everything. You can machine cut this, or you can hand cut it. And we need a 5-inch pentagon base. And then we need 5 petals, of course, per layer for each side of the pentagon. And for the first one, this one is petal number 5, and it's 4.5 inches tall. And we're going to have 2 layers of that. So we're going to roll both sides of the petals back. So using your dowel rod, I just need to find a little bit bigger. So you just roll it back on either side or under. So when we have it up here, it's rolled under. So this is like a medium-sized flower, depending on how many you want to hang together. So again, we're just rolling all the petals back. And there's 5 layers that we're doing. So layer 1 and 2 are the same size petal. So I like to have that fill it in around the edge. So again, this one we're using all of style 1. The layer 3 is petal 4 if you're hand cutting, or it's 4.5 inches high. I'm just gonna change size dowel rod. So this one does go pretty fast. Layer 4 is 3.5 inches tall and is petal number 3 if you're hand cutting it. So with my template, you do receive written instructions, and all of this is included, so you don't have to worry about taking notes. You can just refer to the instruction document where I have a photo of this flower to show you. And again, this is just using petal style 1, and it's approximately 10 inches. And then our last flower is petal number 2. So with the template, it comes with 16 different sizes for hand cutting, and then I provide the sizes if you are cutting on your machine, so you can set it up in a project, which I like to do, so that way then you can just grab the petals you need and then save it as a different project, the name of it. So these are just suggestions. The flowers will change the look depending on the size base that you use, what petal sizes you use. It all varies upon that. So now that we have all of our petals rolled under, we're going to cut into the petals. So you need your pencil. We're going to set the center to the side. I like to flip over the petal, and we're going to cut up the center 2 inches. And depending on how far up the center you cut is going to depend on how flat the petal sits or how high it sits. So the further up you cut, the flatter it's going to sit. So we're going to flip it over, we make our mark on the back, and then we just cut up to that mark. So the first layer we cut 2 inches. The second layer we're cutting 1 3/4 inches. There wasn't much difference between the two because this is a smaller flower. Layer 3 we're cutting 1 1/2 inches. So again, you're just measuring with your ruler. Layer 4, you're cutting 1 1/4 inches. And then layer 5, which is pretty small, there is one smaller, we're cutting 3/4 inch. Okay, so now that we're done with that, you want to make sure you flip it over. And now we're going to glue the petals. So I like to separate it with my fingers and with a little bit of hot glue, lift it up and over. Okay, so again, separate it with your fingers. Add just a little bit of hot glue, not all the way to the top. Lift it up and over. So what you can do is just kind of bend it a little bit in the center. So again, just a small line, you don't want to go all the way up. So lift it up and over. And you just hold it up in the air. And we're going to do this to all the petals. A little bit of hot glue. So I am using the smaller glue gun, the AdTech Precision Pro glue gun. You can purchase it on Amazon and Gorilla Glue. I'm using the smaller one because it is a smaller flower. So I don't want my glue line to be super thick. So again, I'm using the AdTech Precision Pro. So again, we're going to flip it over, and I'm going to continue to do this for all of my petals. Now that all of our petals have been glued together, we're going to make our markings on our base. So since I made this one before, I know how I want it set up. So this one we're going to go and we're going to mark 3/4 inch for our first layer. And then layer number 2 is going to be even with that, so I'm not going to worry about it. And then I'm going to do a 1/2 inch in. And then we're going to do 1/4 and 1/4. So we're going to rotate it, and I'm going to make the same markings. So 3/4 inch. And then a 1/2 inch, 1/4 and 1/4. So this way we have our markings all ready to go. Again, I'm just going around each side of the pentagon, so 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, 1/4, and 1/4. Three-quarters of an inch, 1/2 an inch, 1/4, 1/4. Okay, so now that we have all our markings, so now we get to assemble and watch our flower bloom. We're going to take layer number 1. We're just going to start at one of the edges. Going to add some glue to the back. So we only have like 3/4 of an inch, so you don't want to do a lot. So we're going to go to the middle of that side and bring it up to our pencil line and then press. We're going to rotate to the left or counterclockwise to our next side. Take your next petal, add your glue, and again this one was 5 inches, so go to the middle of the side of the pentagon, bring it into the pencil mark and press your petal down. So again, because we didn't cut too far up the petal, our petal is lifted pretty high. Rotate it to the left or counterclockwise. Add your glue, go to the middle, and then come down to your pencil mark. Rotate. So by using the pentagon shape, or hexagon or octagon, decagon, it allows you to do your placement a lot easier than a circle. Turn it to the left or counterclockwise. And now we're going again into the middle of that side of the pentagon up to your line and press. So now we have a nice big gap here, so that's why I will normally do 2 petals of the same size. So we're going to shift our flower to the left slightly, so I want to be able to go in between, and we're going to make it exactly even as best you can. So add your glue, come here to the middle, and then I just bring it up to the line. You can connect the lines, but I don't worry about that. Shift it to the left or counterclockwise. So again, we're going in between the petals of layer 1. Shift to the left. Going to go into the middle between the petals of layer 1 up to the edge where they're located there, which is about 3/4 of the way in. Shift to the left again, so you can see it's filling it in nicely now. Add a little bit of glue. Because this is smaller, the smaller glue gun is very helpful. Rotate to the left. And bring it up to the line in between the petals of layer 1. Okay, so now we're going to shift again just slightly. So now our odd number layers, so 1 and now 3, are going to be lined up. I think I turned it, but that's okay. Anywhere where there's 1, we're fine. And now we're going to go up to our pencil line, which this was a 1/2 an inch in, so if you didn't measure, you would do it now. So line it up with layer 1 up to your pencil line and press. Rotate to the left. Go to layer 1, bring it up to your pencil line and press. Rotate to your left. Line it up with layer 1 up to the pencil line and press. And rotate one more time, or 2 more times. Oh goodness. Line it up, oops, with layer 1. So we're lining up with layer 1, but it's going in between the petals of layer 2 up to your pencil line. How's that? Rotate. Line up your petals. Go in between the petals of layer 2 up to your pencil line. Okay. So now we just did 3 layers. We're going to rotate slightly. So now layers 2 and now 4 are going to be lined up. And we're going to go up to our next pencil line, which is in 1/4 of an inch. Okay. So line it up with layer 2 in between the petals of layer 3 up to your pencil line. And press. Rotate slightly to the left. Line it up with layer 2 in between the petals of layer 3 and press. Rotate. Line it up with the layer 2 in between the petals of layer 3 up to your pencil line and press. Rotate. As you can see, again, this one comes together fairly quickly because there is only 5 petals per layer. And she's still stunning. Rotate it to the left. Line it up with layer 2 in between the petals of layer 3 and press. So there's your 4 layers. So if you feel like 1/4 of an inch is too close, you can come in a little bit further. It's up to you. So we're going to rotate it slightly. And now 1, 3, and now layer 5 are all lined up. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So we just line them up and bring it up to the pencil line. Rotate it slightly. Oops. So we're going in between the petals of layer 4 and layers 1, 3, and now 5 are lined up. So that would be the case any flower that you make for the most part. And just bring it up to your pencil line. And our first flower, we didn't have to glue just half of it because we don't need to tuck our last flower under because this is a smaller petal and they're not too close yet. Oops. If we did another layer, we definitely would need to only glue half of the first petal to tuck that last one under. Rotate to the left. And this is our last layer and our last petal. She's so pretty. Bring it up to your pencil line. And there you can see in the center, you don't really see your line, so you don't have to worry about it because our center is going to cover it now. If you wanted to, you could do a small circle. For this one, it's pretty small. So we could probably just use our punch. And this one is 1.5 inches. And that would cover it up nicely. So then we just add glue. And that gives you a nice clean center. And that's just optional. Okay. So our next thing is our center. So this is template 7 center. It does come with it. It does have a chunky base, and you can see if we put that in our flower, it would stick up pretty high. So we're going to cut off a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to use my cutting board. I'm going to take 3 at a time. Make sure they're lined up. And again, we're cutting off a 1/2 inch. So right now it's 2.5 inches tall. So I'm just going to make it 2 inches. Now if you were hand cutting it, you just need to cut a 2-inch wide rectangle by 10.25 inches, and then you can fringe cut the center. But this one does come with the template, so if you are using a cutting machine, you can cut this. So again, line it up. So right now it's 2.5 inches wide. I'm going to take it to the 2-inch line mark, hold it the best I can, and cut. Okay, now we're all set. We're going to curl it with a bone folder. I'm going to take 3 at a time again. So this is a bone folder. So it's basically, you can crease it like your envelopes. And you're just going to curl it in towards the center. If you're more comfortable, you can just do 1 at a time. Okay, so it ends up looking like that. So if you fringed it, you hand cut it, just use a bone folder then to curl the edges. You can also use a scissors. Think of it like you're curling ribbon, like string for a package. Okay. Some of them are more curled than the others, and that's fine. Seems like the very last ones I don't curl as much. All right, so now we're just going to roll them together. So keep the curl towards you. I'm gonna try to use a quilling tool, the slotted quilling tool, to roll my petals. So I'm just gonna put it in there, or else you just start rolling. So I'm gonna add a little bit of glue. And try and keep it as tight as possible. And you can add glue periodically or all the way across, it's up to you. Try and keep it as even as possible. We're going to add our next one. So we're going to add some glue. We're going to go slightly to where we ended. I mean, I didn't do it exact, Just try and keep your bottom lined up. And we have 6 of these centers that we cut. So again, kind of go to where you stopped. If it's off a little, it's okay, because that way then maybe each individual petal might fall in between the other ones. So I don't worry too much about it. We just keep adding our centers and rolling. Now we're on our next set. And I'm keeping all of these curled in for all 6. By gluing it a little bit more often, you're making sure it stays where it was. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, now we're just going to keep adding them on. And then our last one. So once they're all glued, then you just shape the center and then we glue it in there. So if you had a larger center, you just keep adding a lot more, depending on the size flower that you're making. So I just press down, and now you see, if we just put it in there, it's not enough. So if you added another layer, it would be plenty, but we're gonna fan this out a little. To your desired look that you want. Still want to have a little bit of them curled in towards the center. Just bend them out. Just keep styling it till you have the look that you like. So let's check it. I think we have it pretty good to our liking. So again, it's to your taste and the look that you're going for. And now we're just going to add some hot glue. Make sure you get it right in the center, so it's best to stand directly over it and then press down. And she's stunning. So she's a little over 10 inches. So here's 23, here's 13, so about 10 inches exactly. So depending on the look that you want, I used 2 different colors here. I did use 2 different colors, but these are very similar in tones from the Citrus pack from Recollections by Michaels. This is Nina Bright White and Astra Bright's Bright Yellow. Thanks for watching.